Boom! And we are back here at the Culture Crusade. It is good to be back. Mike, how are you, mate?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing better than I was last week because we didn't have a stream last week because just normal reasons, basically. I can't predict how well I'm feeling each day. And that day, on the day that we were set to do the stream, I was feeling crap. But I'm a bit better now, better enough. And we're here on the stream to catch up on all the craziness, all the stupidity. Oh, man. Mike, are you getting blackpilled these days? Like, you know?
No, I will never be. Well, it depends on what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I am a diehard fighter of the culture war. So I've been fighting this culture war for longer than most of you people have been alive, and I am not about to quit now. So you can that's why my company's called Blacklist Comics. Mm-hmm. Blacklist Universe is, and I named it that like years before I started doing YouTube, because that's what happens when you stand up for what you believe in. And I'm kind of actually encouraged by the downfall of mainstream media, because the fact that someday, very soon, we're going to be able to make our own media and entertain people and bring them messages of good and right and true and beauty. You know, kind of the way I grew up. I was born in the early 1971, so I remember when the world was like this and we cared about that stuff, and it wasn't all garbage. There was garbage. There's always been garbage, but boy,
yes.
It's a dump truck now. The whole media empire is a dump truck now.
Yeah, I want to jump on that point there, that there has always been slop. Okay. Yeah. Just because we're seeing a deluge of AI slop doesn't mean slop never existed. People have been making slop for a long time, and people have been consuming slop for a long time. There's just a new means whereby people are producing it. And this is kind of related to, I guess, a lot of the topics today. The two main topics we're going to be talking about is, holy crap, something is going on with YouTube, and oh boy, it's not good. We're talking like literally millions and millions of channels are being culled, and I'll show you the points of reference. Oh yeah, like this is confirmed, right? And on top of that, we have the Australian under 16 social media ban, and a whole heap of other stuff with issues with AI. And the thing is, AI is related to all these topics. And it's not necessarily the cause of them, but it's a tool that's being used. And I have like another video related to, I guess, the future is, depending on your perspective. This is why I kind of ask, how are you getting blackpilled? It's starting to look pretty grim for certain things, for even a lot of things. Now, America...
Well, grim in what sense? I don't want to derail you, but define your terms.
Well, here in Australia, things aren't looking good, Mike. Same with UK. That's what I'm saying. You in the US, you guys are lucky that there are certain things in place pushing back against some of these
like
big
freedom of
problems.
Speech?
Yeah, freedom of speech.
Growing up as an American, you kind of just assume that freedom of speech is part of Western civilization, and then you realize that, oh, it's just us.
And my concern, right? Australia is getting pretty bad, especially with this under 16 social media ban, which is basically a Trojan horse backdoor for digital ID, and the government being able to track whatever you do online, and to be able to dox accounts that they don't like. This whole bull crap. And by the way, this under 16 social media ban is going in force tomorrow. Now, it is...
I just gotta say, in principle, I really like that.
Guess what, Mike? I ban my kids from using
Right.
social media.
So in principle, it's a great idea.
But it's the parents' job.
It's the practice that's going to be.
It's not. Well, it's the government deciding that we are going to, parent your kids for you because we don't think you're doing a good enough job. And then the Trojan horse thing, where this is just a backdoor, Trojan horse for the government to control and find out people what they're doing online. So this all stems from this all stems from how pathetically thin-skinned our Australian minister is. Okay, and if people are unaware, you have not. We're talking about just memes. Sets this guy crazy, and he wants to find out who is making these memes of him and punish them. And so this is the
by this guy, you mean a politician, right?
Yeah, our Australian prime minister. Okay, listen to him. This is how triggered he, and this is like a year or more old, right? But if you want to know what the impetus, what the genesis cause of this social media ban for under 16, it comes from this, because this under 16 social media ban and will enable him, all right, to find out, because how are you going to enforce this, Mike? How are you going to enforce and find out who's under 16 or not? Well, the only real effective way to do this is to verify your age somehow. But to do that, you need to verify your identity. And so that's where this leads to. And by verifying your identity, well, the Australian Prime Minister is going to be able to find out the answer to this thing right here. Now, there might be an echo while I bring this up just to share it, but let's listen to.
They're going the way of China, aren't they?
So this is Anthony Albanese.
Media platforms have a responsibility to make sure that misinformation isn't got out there. I noticed today, for example, on the way up here, they've removed various sites that were up containing fake images of myself superimposed on other people. That's the sort of thing that is going on social media. Social media responsibility.
So he already.
Sorry, I just hear this guy going, "Very good, Mr. Jones."
Right. So he already tried to push through a misinformation, disinformation thing, like legislation, to regulate social media sites. And luckily enough people woke up to, oh, we know what you're really going to try there. It's going to be a Ministry of Truth kind of, overseeing bullcrap. And by the way, they already, even though they couldn't put through the legislation, already practicing like things like this are in place with. We have like an online Karen, lady who basically gets posts removed off of Facebook, off of X, and everything, things that they don't like. Now, when he was saying there were images of him superimposed, right, and stuff, these are the type of images that that he was saying was spreading misinformation. Let's have a look at the type.
Please tell me they put him on the doctor guy, on the Nazi guy from. There you go.
So he was trying to like, this is an image of me superimposed spreading fake news, and I'm like, really, Albo? Did you think that people are going to be fooled and think you actually dressed up like this? Really? Like memes.
Well, what's Trudeau did do blackface, so.
But he was offended by memes teasing him, right? And look, some, there's a number of them. That's actually just a picture of him, right? But then there's other ones. That's a video compilation. We'll bring that up later, I think, because. But this one. So this is like a compilation of a whole heap of ones. The top 70 Albo memes. And so, because people were just roasting him online, putting his face, on things and stuff. And we won't go through them all. Okay.
So because he complained about it, more people did more of them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Don't feed the trolls, dummy.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't understand that. He's he's basically online illiterate, this idiot, okay? He doesn't understand it. He tried to get it down so people made more of it, right? Then he tried to push through a misinformation, disinformation bill. That got shot down. And so now he's pushed through this under 16 social media ban, okay? Which is, like I said, a backdoor for him to be able to police this kind of stuff, because again, the only way to enforce it is you have to then basically dox yourself, okay? And by doing that, it's like, oh, this meme I don't like, this thing here that was shared that is making fun of me. Well, who made that? Oh, this person made that. That's who made it. Oh, interesting. Because once they know who posted it, well, then they can take legal action against it. And when I say legal action against it, it's already friggin' happening. So this right here, breaking. A New South Wales court, New South Wales, Australia, issues a $95,000 fine over woman's sport comment.
Don't you wish that America had become an empire and we had just taken over all these countries and then given them our
I'd be all in favor to it. I'll be fully in favor of America taking over Australia. At this point.
Honestly, dude, it is really, really weird. I know I already said it, but just to find out as an adult that y'all don't have free speech. We're the only ones with free speech on the planet. It's just it's truly, truly bewildering, because you're so used to it, and you just think that Western culture is Western culture, but it's not. It is, but there's a level that our founders found this stuff to be like freedom of speech, the right to bear arms. Those are so fundamental. They were number one and number two in this country. And when you grow up in it, a fish doesn't know it's wet, so you just kind of assume everybody else is wet. And watching Britain fall, Australia fall, all of Europe falling to Muslim hordes, Chinese propaganda, all of this tyrannical dictatorships bubbling up again after about a century of them chilling out. It's crazy. It's so weird as an American to watch this happening to guys who we kind of identify. We identify with Australia and England and the other English speaking folk around the world, but we are not the same, Shad. We are not.
Unfortunately not. Now I'll get to the incompetence that is baked into this, right? Which is going to lead to extreme overreach. Okay. But finishing off, reading this part here, says that the court declared her words incited hatred and contempt and said they do not count as protected political communication, because political communication actually is protected somewhat here in Australia, but they're saying it doesn't count. So political speech on a political issue has been declared punishable. Whether you agree with her or not is irrelevant. This ruling marks a turning point in Australia's speech environment. Now, the hope is that she will appeal this and take it to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has the ability to overrule crap like this. And in practice, the Supreme Court has usually erred on protecting Australian rights. The problem
you guys have a constitution, right?
Yes, but it doesn't outlay a Bill of Rights.
Right, but can you amend your constitution in order to protect free speech?
Well, what we have is a common law Bill of Rights, essentially, because what that means is that there's been enough precedent set by the Supreme Court in court rulings to protect speech that you can appeal to those precedents to protect Australian rights, and that's usually how it plays out. And so, if they appeal this, they can appeal
on the Magna Carta.
Basically, we're a British colony, Mike.
Right.
And so the underlining kind of government structure is all baked in from there. And so the common law system actually does function somewhat. The problem is that you have to spend so much money and appeal and go all the way to the Supreme Court to get any real, enforcement of your rights, because it's not spelled out like black and white in a constitution. We have retarded governments that literally institute laws that are against the common law precedents that are already in place in Australia. And they've tried that before. This has happened before, where our governments have tried to pass legislation to restrict the rights of Australians. And then Australians challenge those actual laws that the governments in power put in place. And the Supreme Court has the power to overrule them. That's kind of system, and they've done it in the past before, and so that's why Australia, political theorists refer to a thing called the Common Law Bill of Rights in Australia, which is not spelled out. It's not like a constitution, but there's enough precedent in the past, and they have this really odd thing in Australia. It's so inefficient, but it's really weird, right? It's called the principle of legality. So get this. The judges, and by the way, this is the judge should have actually applied this, but that's why we have some retarded judges that don't do this. But the Supreme Court usually follows these things stricter, where their principle of legality is that if any legislation is ever passed by the government, the judges will always err on the side that the intent behind the law was not to restrict the freedoms of Australian citizens unless the law explicitly says that was its intent. So unless the law that the Parliament passes, right, explicitly says the purpose of this law is to restrict the freedoms of Australians, like that, black and white, the judges should always, and the Supreme Court usually does this, will always interpret the law that its intent was not to do that, and will appeal then to the court rulings of the past, of the common law precedent set, and actually protect Australian rights. It is this convoluted mess that could be actually solved a lot if we just had a black and white constitution which spelled it out. But do you know why they don't change it, Mike? It's because they say it works well enough. It's like, because, when Australians really kick up.
Well, it's like, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good, right?
And so because Australians have been able to challenge government legislations in the past and get them actually overruled by the Supreme Court, they say, well, we effectively have rights in practice, so we don't need a constitution. It's like, such a mess, such a friggin' mess. But in the meantime, right, if you don't fight it, you can get hit with a $95,000 fine over a comment about trans, people in sports here in Australia. It's a friggin' mess.
Wait, so if you actually said what you almost said, you could get fined.
I don't know how inflammatory it needs to be, because I've said trans.
Let's see how far we can go, Shad.
Trans women are men, all right, and they shouldn't be competing in women's sports.
Are they mentally ill?
Maybe I'll get fined for that, Mike. And then I'll have to fight it and take it.
Hold on a second, my wife's calling.
All right, no worries. So I'm going to keep talking a little bit about this. So the state telling you what opinions are acceptable. So this is back to this thing here. The state telling you what opinions are acceptable and which ones will cost you tens of thousands of dollars. If defending women's sports now carries a $95,000 price tag, what debate gets silenced next? Yeah, exactly. All right. And so this social media thing, like I said, is a backdoor for digital ID. So Mr. Retarded, Albanese, our prime minister, who gets offended by memes, can then find out which the actual real life people's names of those posting memes of him. So stuff like this can happen, that they can, be taken to court and fined for inciting hatred and contempt. That was the grounds for this fine. The comment, I don't even know what the comment was. Okay. But you can imagine, and think about the aggressive woke ideologues, right? What type of tepid, mild milquetoast comments do they, claim is inciting hatred and contempt? Nearly everything you can say against them is inciting some type of hatred and contempt against them. It's so easy for them to justify that because words of violence, remember, anything that offends them, even if you're just expressing honest beliefs that you hold, right? Like a man is a man and a woman is a woman, but a gender is a biological reality. And no matter how much you want to pretend you can change your gender, your biological gender doesn't change, stuff like that, right? Already people have been claiming that's hate speech. And under those grounds, if a corrupt, ideologically possessed judge feels like, yeah, that's inciting hatred and contempt, bam, $95,000 fine. And then, unless you probably spend an equal amount of money fighting it and appealing it and taking it to the Supreme Court in the hopes that your rights be upheld based on common law precedent in the Australian system. That's where we're at.
Truth is hate speech to people who don't believe it.
Yeah.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello.
Pretty good. I arrived.
You are.
I think the reason why I even been fined, Shad, is because they know we have weapons, and that usually deters government, as Americans know.
I think they do go after people who can't kick up a stink and fight back, and this is related to the YouTube culling channel.
Yeah, yeah. You guys pussed out. You got one mass shooting. You guys pussed out on weapons.
Now
so yeah, mass shootings every other week. We don't
mass shooting for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We got 3 a day, and we still got guns because they can't let's have the government try to come take guns from these gun nuts. The gun nuts have more guns than the government does, so it's not gonna be good.
So there is a layer of incompetence to this stupid under 16 social media ban, and it's the policing. Unless they go crazy tyrannical, which I don't discount the possibility that they will, right? That they might not do. It's actually kind of impossible to police it. So what they're doing, right? They're trying to enforce the social media companies to enforce it by fining them like something in the order of over $30 million a day. Okay. Until like YouTube and other places roll out. Oh, by the way, like because you guys aren't Australian, I don't expect you to know this, right? But there is a layer of unbelievable hypocrisy to this ban, which just makes me like so sick, so angry, right? So the premise of this thing is to protect the children, okay? Because the children are like, the parents aren't doing it themselves, so daddy government needs to come in, or nanny government, and to protect the children for them, right? And so the intent then is to prevent them from accessing harmful social media platforms like YouTube, like X. Do you want to know which platform isn't under the ban that's actually exempt from this under 16 social media ban?
Which one? Is it YouTube?
Blue Sky.
Of course, Blue Sky. I mean, if Blue Sky got rid of all their minorities, nobody would be there.
Blue Sky, the hive of dead and villainy Blue Sky, which has been outed for having a shocking amount of child predators on that platform, right?
That's what I mean. If they got rid of the minorities, then everyone would leave.
That platform is exempt from the under 16 social media ban to protect children.
What else is also exempt? Roblox? Is that also exempt?
It's utterly ridiculous at this point.
Every time they want to take away your rights, they always wheel out the children or they wheel out grandma. Those are the two things that we allow to take away your rights.
Yeah.
Think about grandma.
Like Nathan Cassidy, our good old mod, says in the chat, could you be more blatant? Yeah, because it's obvious, right? this is a left-wing, insanely woke, ideological government doing this, right? And they happen to not put under the ban the social media platform that is basically completely captured by the left, right? It's only like extreme leftists on it. I wonder why that they made that platform exempt, right? Friggin' hell, this is just...
Well, I mean, to play devil's advocate, it's because they think they're the good guys.
Well, they think.
Who says the hatred's bad? How come they have a thing against hatred?
Right.
Well, they got against bigots.
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty good to hate murder.
Isn't that righteous fury?
Evil.
Isn't it? Aren't you supposed to hate bad things?
Yeah, it's good to hate bad things, right? Oh my gosh! So the other layer of it,
but it's just not good to define bad things.
Oh well,
or notice them. You can't notice bad things.
Right. How dare you?
You can't point them out and mock them.
The other layer to this is that the obvious way to just circumvent it is with VPNs. All right. Now I have a VPN. It's not illegal yet to use a VPN. And I am already a public figure in the sense that I use my real name online. So my identity is known, and the ban is supposed to be for under 16s only. So if there is anything anywhere to try and confirm my age because of this ban, I should not need to be policed by this ban because it's not supposed to affect me. And so if the government says prove your ID, screw you, I'm over 16 and I'm using a VPN and you can't do anything about it until they actually try and ban VPNs. And that has been considered. That's the next step. They'll probably try and ban VPNs because what they want, they're desperate for every Australian to have a digital ID. Okay, so they can track what you do online and identify you if you post problematic content that they don't want people to see. So many posts got taken down during COVID, which was sharing truthful things, right? But because it was against the government narrative, no. And they want, and the thing that they hated during that time was that there were many people posting that they couldn't identify because they were using anonymous accounts. And they want to be able to penalize people for posting things that they don't want. They want to be able to control the flow of information. And this bullcrap ban that's coming in tomorrow, it's all built around that underlining premise. Like, it's not to protect children. If they were trying to protect children, why is Blue Sky exempt? Right? This is friggin' bullcrap.
All their friends are on there.
Yeah, exactly. That's the platform they use, So, things like this make me just almost like, I will still always raise my voice in opposition, but I can only do so much. And I don't think I have the power to turn the tide of where Australia is going and where other things are going in the world. And so I'm almost at a point where I'll still raise my voice, but I think Australia, if it continues going this way, holy crap, is it screwed? And the thing is, right, we're not as bad as the UK, but we are getting really close. Really close. But when I say that, right, it hasn't gotten bad enough for most people in Australia to wake up about what's going on. Most Australians are completely asleep at the wheel. And a lot of them actually swallow this bullcrap Kool-Aid that the government's spewing out. Oh, yeah, it's to protect the children. Children are really getting harmed by this and all that
it's
stuff.
It's kind of the same thing. It feels like the way we have Democrats here, where they just vote Democrat, not because of the policies. They probably don't even know the policies or even the people they're voting for. Most Democrats just vote because blue, no matter who. Literally, that's what they do. Like they have in their mind that they don't need the policies. They just have it solidified in their mind that Democrats are the good guys. I need to vote for the good guys, and so they just cast a vote for the Democrats, trusting that whatever they do is the right thing to do, and whatever Republicans want is the bad thing. So it kind of feels like that. They don't really know exactly what they're voting for. It's just
that is so racist. We all know who you're talking about.
We all know who you're talking about.
Yeah, there's more like that. I was pretty loyal to the Australian Liberal Party in the past, but we call them Labor Light now. They've gone woke, right? And so for the several last elections, I haven't voted for them because they're not properly conservative, and they're supposed to be the major opposition party, and so that's why the independent parties are growing, but they're not large enough yet. And so Australia, like, it will take at least like 8 or more years for, I think, a proper conservative alternative to gain enough steam in Australia, for enough people to wake up in Australia, for things to change. And by then, holy crap, where is this country going to be? You know, like, we have some really bad things already in Australia in terms of housing prices and cost of living things, and nothing the government is doing is going to fix any of that. In fact, they're like, oh no, we want housing prices to increase in value. And a lot of it is because so much of Australian wealth is tied up in real estate, right? Especially like superannuation, which is the retirement funds and everything like that. That if they actually reduce housing prices by a considerable amount, it could really like stuff up people's, retirement.
Well, they can't, right? I mean, the housing prices are still a free market. They can't just suddenly make houses cheaper.
Oh, yeah, they could. If they release state land and make it available, that would lower the massive amounts of cost and also reducing red tape and regulation in building. Like they could, over time, the government actually has the power to reduce housing costs dramatically. Australia is like one of the most uninhabited, inhabited continents in the world. We have insane,
right. Well, you've got to save all the poison snakes out there.
Vast swaths of developed land all throughout our entire country. Out of any developed country in the world, Australia should have some of the lowest land prices, right, out of anything. But we have some of the highest because the government has claimed all these open, fields of endless plains that we have here as state land, and only releases portions of it to be subdivided and marked, for real estate development and everything in drips and drabs.
Wow. So the Aborigines don't own it?
Although they also give a lot to the Aborigines here as well. But no, like vast state forests and state lands, right? And so it creates artificial scarcity, increasing the price,
like diamonds.
And we're importing a lot of people into
diamonds,
this country.
Yeah, apparently diamonds are really common.
DeWalt or whatever, De Beers, whatever. They have like an entire warehouse full of diamonds in Africa, and they just keep them there because they can't. They just let it out in dribs and drabs so they don't crash the market.
Artificial scarcity. So yeah, the government actually has heaps of power to lower pricing. And by the way, housing costs. Holy crap. We have this bullcrap thing in Victoria here in Australia that you have to reach a 7-star energy rating for every new house built. And that increases the cost between 10 and 20% of cost. And when you're in the order, right, of like building a house that is going to cost $600,000-$700,000, and suddenly the cost goes up by an extra $100,000 because of regulation. Like we could, if you want to build houses on stumps, and putting houses on stumps is usually more convenient and more economical and cheaper and everything like that. You can't, it's actually more expensive to put houses on stumps now because of the crazy amounts of underfloor insulation they have to pack and load everything up to make it reach the 7-star energy rating. And so now, bonkers, right? It's actually cheaper to do an engineered waffle pod, like concrete slab, right, to put a house on. And that's usually like a really premium, expensive house foundation, and it's cheaper because of government regulation. Yeah. This is the friggin' world we're in. I can't stand this crap, right? The government is making so many of the problems that we're drowning in, and the ship is so large and so hard to redirect, and they're so entrenched in what they're doing, and they're so deluded that they think that they're either saving the environment or being these noble, virtuous warriors, right? And protecting, people's feelings and from hate speech and everything like that, that it will take such colossal cultural change to move this ship from sailing off the edge of the earth that it's headed towards. It's
I'll need a revolution.
Gosh,
we did
it's
it.
a friggin' mess, man.
It was great.
So
3% of the population to overthrow England.
Oh,
You know that?
right.
That's all it took.
Australians are too complacent.
You need
It's
some of
like-
that age-old criminal powerhouse in that blood.
Right?
Well, I mean, the
Someone be
criminals were
criminal.
beaten into submission. So Australia, one of its virtues is one of its greatest problems, and it's the she'll be right attitude. Australians do have this kind of laid back thing where, look, if I'm comfortable, I'm happy, I won't bother you, and I'll do my own kind of thing. But as a result, it leads to horrible complacency where we let the governments put in policies that we don't even support, right? And then we don't kick up enough of a fuss.
Bro,
And
you know how in
it
freaking
gets
Seattle they had Chad, right? The autonomous zone.
Oh, yeah.
You need Shad.
Shad, the autonomous zone, the Shadland.
If
Good idea.
Big Phrase and Rhino starting a rebellion. They could jump on, bro. Just break away from Australia. Just be like, sorry, we're autonomous. We will not pay your taxes.
They can't do anything.
I will
because
build my house on stumps.
And to say to try to tear that down would be wrong because that would be tyranny or whatever. That's kind of why they didn't stop Chad from happening because let them do it. It's fine. You know, it's too mean.
Oh yeah, Shaz. Sorry.
Yeah, Chaz. It was Chaz.
Chaz. So it'll be Chaz.
Yeah. So they have to let him. They have to let him do it. Apparently, that's it's left wing policies. Let him just do it.
All you need is like one gun, and be like, see, I can outman your police force.
I am preparing, but I'm preparing in the most, I guess, the logical way that I can, which is to protect my family, build security and sustainability for my family. Where if Australia really does go to hell, which it very well might in the future, right? Because of where things are going, things don't change. I'll at least be able to protect my family and myself.
What a palisade!
Whether the storm...
you need to listen to the freaking speech from William Wallace once in a while. Would you trade all that for one chance at freedom?
You need a lot more Australians, you know, on that
even
side
better
than what we currently
Someone's
have.
got to light the fire, Shad. You've got
even better.
followers. Come on.
Even better. You gotta take after the completely 100% accurate Patriot movie. Sorry,
yeah.
100%, 200% accurate. Some people might say.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Well, there is another kind of black pill thing on the horizon, and it's the state of online stuff. And this is the things in regards to YouTube lately. Holy crap, over the past 2 weeks, right? Now, I've already been kind of reporting and talking about this for over a year. The changes that YouTube have been making that have been really detrimental to creators, okay? And it's hit my channel, my main channel, Shadiversity, really hard over the last year at least, if not more. And I've been able to survive thanks to viewer support, direct viewer support. And that's kind of the only way. But there is another massive kind of issue that's been going on, that's been getting reported on over the last 2 weeks. And it's this crazy mass amount of channels being just completely yeeted, deleted, destroyed, dead. Absolutely. Did you guys I don't know, because I follow accounts that follow this and stuff, right? But there was a lot of people on Twitter talking about, my channel just got completely deleted, right? More than I had seen arising on Twitter in a while. And so my YouTube channel, 5 years, 320,000 subscribers, terminated without a single time spam, violation video, a single clear explanation. Clash of Clans YouTuber Eric One Hives, 450k subscribers, has been removed after getting created super chat issued mass copyright strikes on his account. This guy's channel crushed, completely deleted. And here's the thing, right? These people voicing what, my channel just got deleted, right? They're the vocal ones that are able to actually get enough traction to be seen, okay? And that's usually indicative that, okay, if there is an influx of people voicing that their channel has been deleted, it actually gets noticed, okay? And there was far more ones that crossed my feed than before. Usually that means you can multiply that by in orders of magnitude of channels that have been deleted that no one even hears about, that don't have enough influence or voice to actually share what's been going on. And so this guy, 3 of his channels are gone. And here, look at this. This is what the hell. This guy started to look into this. In the first 6 months of 2025, YouTube's AI system terminated over 5 million channels. Holy crap. Like, let that sink in, okay? And how does he know? Well, you can actually look this up, total channels on the platform, right? And that is only from, what, January to June? Okay. And so the amount of channels actually deleted are probably way more than what's actually, we can see here. Millions, over 5 million. I would say for the entire year, I could see it reaching 10 million channels. 10 million channels. There is actually a bit to unpack about this and discuss. First of all, did you guys ever think that YouTube would have actually channels, and the total number of channels on YouTube? Do you ever think that was going to be in the order of billions?
That seems like a way more than I would think there would be. But there's some companies out there, or some weird shenanigans going on where they just make tons of channels. Like, there's some numbers channelers over there where they're just going to upload random colors and beeps. But
I thought YouTube only had 2 billion users.
Well, 2,100,000,000 channels.
Wait. Don't you have to have a channel to have a YouTube account?
So I think these are YouTube accounts.
So that just means that you have a Google account and you logged into YouTube. That means you have a channel.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. I think so.
So it's just
kicking you automatically get one. Yeah.
So this is what I mean about the layers, because I think a good portion of this probably is bot channels and bot accounts, right? But what's going on is that a huge number of actual authentic channels are being caught in the culling, okay? Friendly fire, you got just completely destroyed and yeeted. And one of the kind of concerns about this, right, is that this is all being done through AI automation. And now I will unpack this a bit. We'll actually go through kind of that tweet a bit, right? But before I do that, I want to share this tweet from Clownfish TV. So this one was from, actually, no, let me see if I can find it, because it's basically YouTube saying, oh, we are going to try and, deal with the issues of AI and other things, right? With AI. So the way that they're going to combat AI slop and other things like that is with AI. And
fight fire with fire.
Yeah.
It's like why didn't we do that during the Terminator Wars? What if we made our own Terminators in Terminator to fight other Terminators? I mean, John did that, right?
Because it would be like that scene in what was that movie I was talking about with William Wallace, Braveheart, where the two armies go to meet and then they go, "Oh, hey, buddy, let's go."
The Irish. Oh, the Irish.
Yeah. And what's frustrating, right? AI has such potential to do amazing things. Like you can feed so much medical information into AI that it might be able to cure cancer, right? Like AI can enable people have this incredible creative outlet and do all these things, right? But it's the humans' way, like the way we are choosing to implement it in so many applications is destroying ourselves. Right. And it's
how do you cure cancer?
Right? And people are blaming AI for all these problems. It's like, no. Blame the people using the AI. They're the ones doing this, right? It's actually like the gun debate, Guns don't kill people. People kill people. AI doesn't destroy channels and make slop. People destroy channels and make slop. with AI. It's the people choosing the way it's being utilized. It has such great potential to make like some incredible things, bring the fabled utopia, yet the way that we are implementing in so many ways, especially like big corporations, is just making so many issues, right? Oh my gosh. And so
I can't wait for someone to try to cure cancer with grok or something. And it's like, oh yes, the secret to curing cancer is homeotherapy and using St. John's wort. And then like that didn't work. Oh, I'm sorry, you're right.
oh my gosh. And so yeah, YouTube's way of trying to combat the problems with AI is to use AI. I never really do it. Like I said, this is an AI kind of is it quality control over thing, and it has just been nuking millions, literally millions of channels, complete through AI automation, and massive amounts of genuine creators are getting nuked completely as a result. And without like some of these stories are wild. They say, I haven't broken a single terms of service. I didn't get a single warning or anything. And my entire channel was just completely yeeted. And when they appeal it, it gets rejected in like 5 minutes because it's AI automation. And so they can't even get like a proper person to look at it. And the appeals, like again, they get rejected. And once you appeal it, that's kind of it. And the only recourse that many of these people have is to try and kick up a big stink on X to get
don't larger
YouTube support account.
Still have I remember back in the day you used to get a personal, like not personal, but like you'd have an actual contact at YouTube once you hit like 100,000, right?
Yeah, it's hit and miss. It's hit and miss. Like Mike, I have a channel of 1.6 million and I have a YouTube rep currently, but there was a period of like a year or two where my YouTube rep said, all right, yeah, I'm leaving or moving on or anything like that. And for 2 years, I didn't have one. And it took ages for them to contact me again. And then I get a YouTube rep. And so I currently have a, but.
Even then it can't help because I remember there's the Camelot story where he had like thousands of dollars in chargebacks out of nowhere.
Oh, the chargeback thing.
And then he's like, he talked to his YouTube rep and the YouTube rep is like, that's tough. That's rough, buddy.
Yeah. They actually don't have a huge amount of power.
And then he complained about it to YouTube. And then he said, I'm ruined. I have to put my house in the market. I'm done. This destroyed me. And then YouTube liked that tweet. It's like, that's cold.
Like really, it's like.
Well, here's the problem: is there's no like dislike, like in Facebook. It's like you can only do one reaction.
Holy crap, though, and this is actually the way YouTube wants to. Because YouTube actually, the way that it runs is very unsustainable. Okay, where there are people, when I say people, I'm talking about thousands, literally hundreds of thousands of people who are live streaming and making like live streams that last for between 1 to 5 hours to sometimes no views at all, or 1 or 2 views most, right? Think about the crazy amounts of server space and upkeep costs it takes to host that content. And we're talking about unfathomable amounts of content, hours and hours and hours of content that nobody watches. It's like a financial black hole. It's completely unsustainable. And so YouTube, I think part of this culling is them putting in ways like they're trying to basically purge a lot of unused or useless content, right? And but the way they're going about it is actually this overcorrection, which is catching in like huge amounts of genuine creators with audiences, video content that gets viewed and everything like that, and they're getting yeeted as well. What do you guys like? Because I propose this in my kind of mini documentary I made on the subject. So there's a video I made called SlopTube on Shadiversity. It's also on X Twitter. Where I break down so many of the current changes that's been going on. And in that video, I postulate that and I propose like how much content do you think on YouTube actually doesn't get views? And when I say views, I'm talking about under 100 and less, right?
Well, I mean, even on the, all right, like most channels aren't like yours where you're producing evergreen content. A lot of these channels are doing topical content that it may even get 100,000 views for 3 weeks or 3 months, and then no one ever watches it again, right? Because it's like, I'm not gonna...
You know that one though. That's specifically because YouTube buries that content.
Dude, I'm thinking about just modern content. Nobody cares about what happened 6 years ago in pop culture or in the news or anything like that.
News-wise, yeah, I'd agree.
Well, pop culture is news.
Yeah, but I think like movie reviews and stuff like that have some longevity.
Well, yeah, that's true. But like, say someone's like say Jeremy makes a video complaining about the upcoming Captain Marvel movie, right? It's like it may have gotten 100,000 views, 8 years ago, but no one's clicked on it in 6 years, right? That kind of thing. A lot of channels have endless hours of content like that. That's just nobody's ever gonna give a damn again,
So that's actually a big problem that I think YouTube doesn't know how to deal with, because they've built the platform on anyone can upload anything. And so people do that and no one watches it. And it just costs them unfathomable amounts of money to still host all of it. That's why no proper YouTube competitor has really been able to rise, because they can't maintain the costs, the server costs, basically, of hosting all the content they're allowing people to upload.
Endless content, yeah.
It's endless content. That's why I think there was one of the competitors, Vimeo, I think it might have been. Was it Vimeo? So, not Vimeo. So it was one of the ones that were getting some traction, but they couldn't maintain the upkeep costs, and they shut down. I think one of the ways that could do it, and this would actually make more sense, right? If you wanted to upload content online, you have to use your own hard drive as the server of that content, and use kind of like maybe a torrent sharing kind of platform or peer-to-peer platform where people wanted to watch your content. You would, like, if someone developed software that had a protected peer-to-peer kind of server ability, that people watching your content basically kind of off your hard drive and bandwidth, that would have issues as soon as you get lots of people trying to access that content. But holy crap, the amount of like bandwidth that a lot of people are getting access to, you would actually be able to end up doing it. Even me in crappy Australia, last week, I was finally able to upgrade my internet, and my bandwidth now is bonkers. Like, compared to what it was, holy crap. So much so that I could actually host my own content through a peer-to-peer kind of, bit of software that people could watch my content, and then I'm hosting it, I'm paying for it. And that's actually a sustainable model. But until something like that works, like either someone sets it up, it'll be hard to get a competitor, and YouTube will still be bleeding massive amounts of money, and then overcorrect and just nuke huge amounts of people off the platform because they don't know any other ways to resolve it. I actually believe YouTube wants to get rid of most creators that it feels it doesn't need. And not only the vast amounts of like creators that are not getting viewed and uploading, taking up server space, everything. I think a lot of the low viewed creators to even most of the mid-tier creators as well, I think YouTube would be happy to get rid of, because YouTube actually doesn't need it. YouTube makes most of its money off of 1% of the content that's on the platform. I think that's actually quite, like, in the most extreme generous thing, you can say 10%.
Isn't that how Hollywood works too?
Almost. Almost, right? If you go to the extreme, 10%, but I would say no, it's actually more realistically 1% of the content on this platform generates 99% of the revenue. Think about that. Like one Mr. Beast video, which gets hundreds of millions of views, right? That content, right, is more valuable than the hundreds of millions of videos that get no views that YouTube is just still hosting. So YouTube from YouTube's mind, it doesn't need it. It's a tricky position, okay, because there is content that people will upload, and whenever you upload something, it has no views, right? That has the potential of virality, the potential of getting millions of views. And so YouTube's approach at the moment has been basically the flood approach, allow all the content. And then it used to be the cream would rise to the surface. Now it's not. YouTube has discovered that, people will watch most of the slop that we just push in front of their faces. If it's mildly interesting and we push it in onto their feeds enough, people will watch it anyway. And so this is where I think YouTube is going to be moving towards producing its own content, either through supporting the chosen one creators that they want to platform, and then making mainstream content because they want to compete with Netflix and everything. Like YouTube has already experimented with making mainstream content produced by YouTube itself. Cobra Kai, that TV series, started as a YouTube series. YouTube was the one producing it. And then it was picked up by another network.
It was better on YouTube.
Yeah. And then AI content so I have big issues with Gemini, the AI Google is producing. And remember when Gemini first came out, that it wouldn't make images of white people?
It was hilarious because they instantly thought, okay, we're not going to make pictures of white people, huh? All right.
Mm-hmm. So I don't trust
the most racist images you've ever seen.
Yes, it really did. I do not trust Gemini at all. I think there is horrible ideological bias built into the underlying kind of training data that this is built on, right? And with me even saying that, their AI models that they're producing are some of the most impressive and most powerful. Like if you look at the video generation stuff that the Google AI is able to make, Nano Banana, which is the image generator, is actually one of the most crazy powerful AI image generators I have seen to date. Like Mike, you've even experimented with Nano Banana a bit, haven't you? And seen what it can do?
Yeah, I mean, I've been throwing just lineup on there and seeing. I can't quite figure out how to get it to be full high res, but dang, the colors, it's almost there, man. It's almost there where you're just going to be able to throw something up there and just say, hey, color this way, and bam, you've got a full colored page.
Yeah, it's power and capacity is so great. And then I really think it has that ideological bias built into its underlying training data where I don't trust it, yet it's so powerful and so effective. And I really think YouTube is going to be able to utilize some of these most powerful AI models and make its own content. Because if YouTube makes its own content, right? Mark my words, guys, there will soon be a feature on YouTube where on the YouTube home screen, instead of recommending videos, it'll have another line where you can type in a prompt to generate whatever video you want. There'll be an inbuilt video generator on YouTube. Mark my words. Now, I'm interested in that because if people want it, I'm fine. But if YouTube forces it in front of people's faces without them choosing, that's where I think we've got an issue.
That's going to be such a bandwidth hog, though.
Yeah. Well, actually, you're right. That maybe
and
I spoke to
that would be YouTube like $100 a month subscription model.
Yeah, you would either have to pay for it or they would have to build one of the most crazy AI things. Because like Grok is kind of doing that at the moment, but you have a limit on your generations. Anyone can go to Grok.
I don't.
And
if you have a paid membership, you can use Grok all freaking day long.
Well, then there's that as well. And Grok's video generator is actually pretty darn powerful.
Yeah.
Pretty darn powerful and effective. And so I don't know what the future of YouTube is going to be. I think YouTube it's such a juggernaut that it's not going to die completely, but what YouTube was, I think, is already mostly dead. Especially the old school creator that could like build a business through just working hard and achieving stuff like that. I think there's now a cap on new people on the platform that they might get one or two videos pop off, but there's no consistency. And if there's no consistency, then you can't have a reliable income really off it. And I think that's the golden age that is now dead completely.
I would just point out that this is just the way the internet is.
Yeah, things come and go.
It used to take literally decades for things to come and go, right? When you have to put the money in for a brick and mortar and all that stuff. Since the internet came out, things come and go faster and faster. So it's like, if you're like, I'm going to be a YouTube star for the rest of my life. No, you're not. This is not going to be here for the rest of your life. So
with the internet trends, it's like, okay, this thing is popular. And then the next thing that happens is, okay, this thing is popular, so we're going to bombard you with it endlessly. And your interest in the thing kind of dies out really quickly. It's kind of like what happened to Star Wars. Like the Last Jedi killed Star Wars pretty much. But then after that, it's like, boom, 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 Star Wars, show. It's a new show, new movie, new this, new that. And it's just like, okay, we're done. And it's all the same crap. Because if you probably got things that quickly, you kind of like, it's more content than it is art. And it's all the same stuff. Like you have the same people do it. You have to crank it out. And it has to be in order to crank it out that quickly and that regularly, it has to be, somewhat the same. You have to have like a mold that they fit in, and that's what happened. They kind of do feel very much the same. And so you're like, oh, this is Star Wars now. It's very stale. It's very dry. It's like eating a dry cracker. It's not very interesting anymore. As opposed to, okay, it took a long time for George Lucas to make the prequel trilogy, but he made it very different than the originals. I mean, this prequel trilogy isn't that great. It has some good moments in there, and it kind of launched a few good things. But credit given where credit is due, it was very different. It wasn't just the original trilogy again, which he could have done, but it wasn't. So I mean, he tried in that respect. So it's like less art. It becomes less art and more just swill. There's like endless samey mass-produced crap, and then boom, there you go. You're off to the races. And it dies pretty quickly because you get bombarded with it. That's just the nature of how things become popular in it, and they follow that trend for a while, and it's bombardment. Then you have to keep it up. You have to continuously feed the machine, or else you die out. But the machine gets bored of this constant production of the samey stuff, and then it gets bored pretty quickly. Anyway.
What's kind of sad about this, right? Is this changing YouTube, which is killing off what it used to be for this new mutated kind of version of it, is completely self-inflicted. YouTube is the thing doing this, right? If they kept the same algorithm, the same model that was around, 4 or 5 years ago, YouTube would still be great. The problem that what YouTube sees from this is that it wouldn't be able to compete with TikTok if it kept its what it was like back then, because TikTok is a completely different type of platform and content. So many of the problems, in fact, I would say most of the problems that YouTube is facing right now is its active attempt to turn itself into TikTok, right? And that is like, that's a completely different experience. And so what it is, like the shorts trend is really, really damaging for, I guess, the creator ecosphere. Did you guys know that YouTube actually takes a larger cut of revenue from shorts ad revenue than conventional video ad revenue?
Yeah, probably, because it's really quick. People kind of go through the video pretty quickly, and they're just constantly scrolling. You do get ads way more often because you just.
But I'm just talking about the split between the person who made the short and the cut YouTube takes.
Yep, it makes sense also because it's like they don't really get much watch time per creator. They get a lot of watch time overall because of all the shorts being made.
Oh yeah,
creator, not very much.
Shorts revenue is dog crap. Like I have nearly like
10 cents.
I have like between 30 and 40 million views from shorts when I was doing them, and I think I made $5. Right? Like shorts revenue sucks, but it's in the overall totality combined. On conventional videos, YouTube takes 45% of that ad revenue. That's their cut. And in shorts, they take 55%. So in shorts ad revenue, YouTube literally takes 10% more than what they do in conventional videos. And so, wow, interesting. YouTube makes more money from people watching shorts than they would do from conventional videos. Which type of content is now YouTube more incentivized to promote to people viewing it?
So you made them $2.50, Shad, or more, a little bit more than that.
But if you just flood the platform with them to unbelievable amounts, YouTube makes more money. In actual fact, YouTube has reported recently that it's had its most profitable year, and it's all they credit that mostly with shorts.
Shorts are really good for us anymore, but they're really good for YouTube.
Really good for YouTube. You know, like a study came out recently that showed people who watch shorts literally, like, it affects their cognitive ability because of it's not training them to have a long attention span. And so it actually has negative mental effects. But that's the whole thing about shorts are like, they are literally constructed to hold people's like short-term attention. Basically, you watch it and then it's made to like you just keep flicking through, and
it's candy instead of food.
Yes, good way to put it. And so as a result, right, it is incentivizing the creation of slop content. Slop content has been around on YouTube since its inception. I've mentioned that. The cat on the piano, that's slop, right? And so shorts is perfectly structured for that type of slop brain dead content. And so people are blaming AI for a lot of this. I was like, people are making some awesome stuff with AI. No, I think the larger culprit to what's going on YouTube is shorts, not AI. And that's just the delivery mechanism that a lot of people
AI is just making it a whole lot easier to make shorts.
Yep. But then YouTube is pushing it to crazy levels by like it could get more people to watch it because it's easy to recommend. I break that down in my, that's the main kind of takeaway point I make in my SlopTube video about why YouTube is pushing this type of content over other content, because it can get more people to watch it overall, undermining people's preferences through subscriptions, and ignoring what people actually say they want. Okay, they don't want to give you the gourmet meal that you would enjoy most. They want to give you the cheap fast food that you would consume. You know, it's tasty enough, but more people are likely to eat it because some people have discerning tastes. Some people like a specific type of gourmet meal that most people don't like. That's where the niche has prospered. But that's really where it's at. And now, because YouTube is using AI automation processes to try and quality control this mess, this deluge flood that they have made themselves, right? This AI automation, quality control is a disaster and just nuking heaps of, genuine creators for bonkers reasons that I do not make sense. You can actually see some of the breakdown of why. The largest one here is spam or misleading content. Okay. It's like, wow. Oh, do you know how many channels could easily disqualify for that? Like the slightest kind of clickbait thumbnail, spam or misleading, it's nuked. And that's what a lot of people whose channels were deleted were saying. They said it was for this bogus reason, spam or misleading, right? 81% of these millions of channels that were completely nuked are all for, spam or misleading. And that can mean anything. And so if these automated AI kind of, I guess, quality control things misread the, because the captions, the auto captions. So it then gets the transcript of the videos and the AI reads the transcript. And if it misinterprets even a couple of words to say other words, right, that YouTube thinks it could be hate speech or any number of things, boom, completely destroyed. And it's a problem of their own creation, all of this. Like, YouTube is ultimately, and I think it's already vastly dead from what it once was. And that's the result of YouTube. And even if it gets so bad that the users are banned in the platform, it'll be a self-inflicted wound by that point. YouTube will have done it to itself because it was so desperate to be the everything platform. Basically, it's like, oh, we need to be YouTube, we need to be we need to be TikTok, we need to be Netflix, and it wasn't content with being what it was, YouTube. It has to be all these other things, and it will have destroyed itself.
It's got to be king of the hill.
Yep. And you know, the thing is, right, I guess TikTok would have grown because I'm trying to think, like, could TikTok have, you know, ever threatened YouTube if YouTube remained the way it was instead of trying to copy it, right? And I don't think so. I think, like, there's enough people who enjoy quality long form content, right? What YouTube was, you know, used to thrive on. Then this brainless kind of short feed type of, you know, instant video stuff. But I guess it hooks people in, like TikTok. There is a lot of people using it, I guess. What do you guys think? Do you reckon, like, is the candy type content of TikTok too, I content entrapping for people's, you know, minds and longer form
I think it's an issue of timing. I mean, TikTok is just Vine, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Vine was too early. You know, it's like we weren't somehow or another we needed to truncate the attention span, and kind of the way YouTube did it was by, you know, they wanted 10-minute videos. They were pushing 10-minute videos.
Yeah,
right?
back in the day.
So it went from long form to 10-minute to TikTok, but like Vine came too early to ride that wave, hit the crest of that wave.
Mm-hmm.
But then TikTok hit it and like took all that attention. But like I said before, all of this stuff is transitory. It's all going to be,
ultimately.
And you kind of have to look like, what's the next thing? Is it like 4-second clips, or it's like, what is the next, thing that's going to actually catch the attention and get everybody's, eyeballs and whatnot. It's hard to prognosticate, that's for sure. But it'll always change. There's still a handful of drive-ins out there, if you know what I mean. It's like back in the 50s and the 60s, drive-ins were what everybody went to, right?
Yep.
Then it was the movie
same with the theater, the live.
And now it's like, in order to go to a movie theater, it's so expensive, and it's like $100+ just to take a date out to the movie theater and have a good time.
Oh,
and it's
I was referring to the acting theater, the performance live.
Oh yeah, that too. So it's always going to change. It's changing way faster now because of the internet and because of AI, and just who knows where it's going to be in 10 years. We couldn't guess.
It is so that I think you're 100% right. And basically, if you have not seen the signs that this is kind of where YouTube is going by now, heaven help you when it finally catches up. Because I'm at a point where I've seen enough signs where okay, I need to be completely non-reliant on YouTube now. Wherever my future is, it can't rely on YouTube. And I've been structuring things behind the scenes of my life. Even right now, where I'm right now, I'm like at a point where, okay, YouTube could die tomorrow and I'll still be, safe and secure enough and be able to sustain myself. I wonder what people's desire for content will be, because the main thing that I've been able to set up is viewership support, and that supports most of my content. But even if that dries up, I've, made hay while the sun shines. Is that the correct term? Where during this time where it was really profitable and successful for most people and things, I wasn't just, wasting away the things. I was always trying to build to something more by experimenting with new content and things like that. But even separate to that, I was investing and trying to set up long-term security. And that seems to have really paid off. That even if things completely, go the apocalypse tomorrow, I'll be able to look after myself and my family. Thank goodness, for the time, due to the time when it was better. I'll still be making content because I enjoy making content. That's what got me started. I didn't start this out thinking that it'll be a career. And so I have a feeling that, just because I enjoy it, there'll be, always videos. As to the frequency and intensity and production value, that's always up for an adaptation, I suppose. But that's kind of the takeaway, is like, there's no guarantee for how long this is going to last. In actual fact, it's probably the guarantee that it won't last and something else is going to change drastically. Yeah, Nathan Cassidy says, yep, there are a lot of YouTubers who don't invest in it, but also just don't invest in security. They think, oh, I got all this free money and everything like that, and then they splurge it all without investing in security and when I say they are investing in long-term security and stability in the future. And that's just like a important mentality that everyone should be aware of and be taught and known. My dad taught me about that early age. Is like, okay, no. Do the right thing with your money. Don't waste it frivolously. And because of that, I should be very, very safe and secure going to the future, even if YouTube, everything died. It's all done. I always have a backup as well, basically. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, iDubbbz. Right?
iDubbbz.
It's like, oh.
So, isn't he homeless or something? I could have, like, that's a rumor.
Living with someone's parents, his parents.
He's like living in a basement or something.
Something.
And he says they're trying to, like, it all came out during was it a Creator Clash or something? Like, wait a minute.
He lost a lot of money with that.
That's not working out.
Holy crap.
50
on air, gifted 50 Nice Watch memberships, dude. That is amazing. That's incredible. Thank you so much. Wow, really appreciate you, man. That is amazing. And so I think if anyone's in chat, I think you can just claim memberships if they're available now because they're gifted. That's amazing, dude. You legend. Thank you so much for that. Now, on that note, I also think we should get to the Super Chats catch up and then jump to any other topics that we might be interested in talking about. So, Wala Vio Mala, member for 32 months. Thank you, man. Australia banning social media, YouTube killing channels, yep. And here in Brazil, the Universal Church wants to ban micro bikinis. Serious problems overall. Devastating problems. The last one.
Not the micro bikini.
Not them. Anything. I can understand how that could upset someone's day quite a lot. It all goes down to authoritarianism. People, governments, institutions overstepping things. When people just ultimately want to be left alone. They want to be protected, but the government says, well, you can't protect yourself. We'll protect you and take away your rights to do it. That's what they're the mentality. Oh, gosh. This makes me start to reflect about the longer term, reality of what's just overall globally, where the world is headed. And I have no idea. I have a video to share about a looming danger. We've talked about it before. Lit Dev, I think you'll be on board with this one because we've talked about one of the greater threats, and this video encapsulates it. But I'll save that till after the super chats. James Apps 49.83 $89 $5 says America's founding fathers proved their brilliance by making a Bill of Rights and putting it in the Constitution. 100%. 100%. I actually believe the American Constitution is a divinely inspired document. And that's not just me saying it. That's not just me saying it. The founder of my religion, Joseph Smith, actually stated, and we believe him to be a prophet, that the American Constitution was divinely inspired. So that's effectively, like me as a Latter-day Saint, we believe the American Constitution has near enough to scripture if it's divinely inspired. So, yeah, and I'm Australian, but it's even tied into my religious belief how important that document is. Doesn't that make you like Joseph Smith even a little bit more, Mike? Look at how he was a Chad, advocate for the Constitution.
Well, I don't disagree with everything he said.
Oh, good. Glad. I'm gonna take that and just move right on it. McSkittles, member for 7 months, says the reason, and thank you for being a member for McSkittles. We appreciate you having you here. The reason these people don't like memes is because they can't come up with anything funny. Yeah. And
That's true.
that's
The
the
left
same.
can't meme.
Yep. And our prime minister instead literally has gone through this convoluted process to take away the rights and threaten the rights of all Australians.
You're right to meme.
He can't handle memes. That's how pathetic.
It's kind of ironic, isn't it, that the left is so bad at memeing that the left can't meme is a meme.
Yeah, you need a sense of humor to be able to meme.
Yeah. Yep.
That's why their memes are like war and peace whenever they have to meme.
They hate comedy because comedy is going to be offensive, and there are so much low hanging fruit that they get triggered by that.
Are you saying they're low hanging fruits?
Especially now, yeah.
There's a lot of it.
The peak of the comedy is Trump, am I right? And that's it. So
right? Yeah. F Trump. Oh, everyone claps like see you.
I was just talking to my mom about this. Like, you know how the Trump deranged people are so deranged they will actually kill themselves. Like, did you hear about the lady who
Tylenol
took so much Tylenol she
just to own Trump?
Whatever it takes to own Trump, they'll do, even if it's killing.
Right. So here's my plan.
Mentally
you know how Trump is going to give us each a $2,000 stimulus check? I want to set up a website that's like F Trump stimulus check. Send that to me.
Cash it, send it over.
Say that you'll give it to Palestine or the
yeah, I'm sending it to Ukraine. Palestine.
Oh my gosh.
It's all going into a charity called Hate Donald Trump. And therefore, all the money that goes in there goes to whatever you want it to go to. So as long as you hate him with it, then you can just keep the money.
Con Air, the Chad, the legend Con Air, who donated all those 50 memberships. This legendary man has a super chat here. Says, words are violence, then silence is violence. This is quite the paradox when it comes down to it. Yeah. Like I've heard both of those phrases. Silence is violence. If you don't speak up for the rights I want you to, you are culpable.
It all depends on what the situation is. Like if it benefits them, then silence is violence. If it doesn't benefit them, then words are violence.
Exactly. They have no principles apart from whatever benefits their ideology.
So is sign language like Jeet Kune Do to them?
It's like a word
silence and its words.
Mm-hmm.
Dum, dum, dum.
Nathan Cassidy, our legendary mod in the chat for $4.99 says, you know what's irritating about this? Most young parents agree that kids shouldn't be online. Yeah, I agree. But I don't need the government to ban it. I control what my kids use, the devices they use, and what they get access to.
It's called parenting.
Yeah, it's shocking, isn't it? Right? And some folks refuse to understand it won't work. Yeah.
I still remember that really like almost like a dystopian image that someone made a long time ago, where it's like, oh, I was YouTube made me inquisitive. Facebook made me learn social or whatever. Like we are the first generation to be raised online. I wouldn't have any. That's like so dystopian. It's just we're raised online by corporations.
Yes, there are dystopian elements about our current world and social media. I completely agree. It's why I don't let my kids use social media. Now, the question is, right? Are most parents just that dumb that they don't know how to raise their kids properly in the current generation and they just let their kids... Or are those kind of cherry-picked examples that the government are using to show, look at all the damage it's doing? Kids using... Possibly a bit of both, because there is just like these examples that they try and roll out saying, oh, this person was bullied on social media and committed suicide or something like that. And it ultimately comes down to the parents, though. And what are the parents doing? Are they asleep at the wheel? And I think there are a lot of bad parents in the world. But even then, I still don't think it's the government's job to raise our kids the way it thinks they should be raised, even if certain parents are asleep at the wheel. That's why people need religion.
Also, sorry, but bullying, we invented bullying before social media. Social media bullying is just like, that's just being lazy.
Yeah, people used to give real world wedgies and get their heads dunked in the
toilet. We used to duct tape. Well, not we as in me, but back in my generation, we used to duct tape people to freaking light poles and stuff, and just leave them there until the police or their parents found them.
I was bullied quite a lot as a kid. And you know what I had to do to stop it? Kick the crap out of the bully, and it made me a stronger person. Like, I'm not saying
sometimes you got to fight back.
I'm not advocating for bullying. I'm not advocating for bullying because some people has legitimate lifelong damage.
I'm advocating for bullying.
But for my own experience in it, it did make me a stronger person. Okay. It taught me to, stand up for myself, fight. And
that's exactly right, Shad. That's why I'm advocating for bullying.
Sometimes you just stand up for yourself. That's like a big issue.
You have to get to that point, right?
And in the SJW world, it's like you should never fight back unless it's a Republican, I guess. You should never commit violence. You should never make anyone uncomfortable in any way, unless it's like your parents. But it's like you can't do any of that. You should always say yes, sir, yes, ma'am, or step out of the way, or be docile and compliant. Like giving anyone any sort of discomfort or being an aggressor of any kind, or even just fighting back against a bully is just unthinkable because that's confrontation.
In regards to this super chat,
but hold on, that's not even a thing. Most of the time, you don't even have to fight back a bully. You just have to stand up to him.
Yeah.
And that builds character.
Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Depends on the bully. But in terms of never throw the first punch, I generally agree unless they really deserve it. Look, in my defense, he asked for it. So
look, in high school, if you sucker punch the bully and knock him down, he's done. He's done.
I didn't sucker punch him. I was standing face to face with him. Because this guy was on my back constantly. He was actually particularly pernicious because he would badmouth me behind my back to my friends, and actually got some of my friends to turn against me and tell me to F off and all that stuff. And so this guy was actually quite active for most of a year, trying to ruin my school experience, and I kind of had enough with it. And I was very non-confrontational, right? I was a good Christian boy. Didn't call people names. And this guy, I just had enough with him. And so he would always initiate some type of slur or teasing or name calling against me. When I was playing sports in the middle of school, he'd be on the sidelines spewing crap about how stupid I was at it. And so he was always initiating. I would call him names back, but I would never initiate it and start off first. And so one of the latter days in the year, I said, fine. He's constantly trying to initiate all these problems with me. And so he was, in the beginning of school, he was riding past on his scooter, and I decided to call him a name out of the blue just to see what would happen, right? So I called him a retard. Great word, that one, right? Now, the thing is, though, in his mind, there was a hierarchy because he was the bully and I was the victim, right? And so in no world could he stand for, someone as lowly as me calling him a name unprovoked, right? And so he did this big kind of turn on his scooter with this big thing when he looked at me, and then he said, "Come here and say it." So I did. And
now what?
And we were face to face, and he had been on my back all year. He was just such I've heard report that after this beating I gave him, that he turned out to be a really nice person and he stopped bullying people.
He beat the evil out of him, Shad.
I beat the bully out of him, so I think it turned out good for him as well.
Nice,
because
very based.
After this full year,
Shad, I would point out that the situation you just conveyed, you bullied the bully out of him.
Who bullies the bully?
Yes,
because we were face to face, and this was in year 9. I don't know what year grading system you have in the US, but year 12 is the final year. Year 9 is year 9 is the middle year of high school. And I had enough. I had enough with this jerk that had been on my case throughout the whole year. We were face to face, and he was asking for it, and he was just like, sizing me up. And look, the way he was approaching was threatening violence, right? That's the whole point about them. They try and, with intimidation and stuff. And so he was threatening,
Shad,
what are you going to do?
You instigated this confrontation.
I did instigate. I'm not saying I didn't, but it was in response to everything else. It was in response to everything else, right? And so then we were sizing each other up, and it's the masculine.
You sound
body kind of
awfully Palestinian right now.
No. It's the you've been through this. Whenever young guys get threatened and they go up to each other, and there's an undertone of physical intimidation and threat. Where, like, if it kept going, he was going to throw a punch. So I decided to throw one first, and
so
then,
you instigated it, and then you hit him first.
Then I beat the snot out of him.
Look, Shad, sometimes violence is not the answer; it's the question, and the answer is yes.
And so he tried to fight back, right? But here's the thing. I have done martial arts. I'd done martial arts when I was a kid and everything like that. And so, this guy actually got me in more trouble because he tried to fight back, but I was able to avoid every single counter punch that he threw, and he didn't land a single hit on me. But as a result, he was able to play the line that he didn't fight back. Yeah, that he didn't fight back, and I was just wailing on him. And and it was like I ended it with an uppercut, and it messed up his entire mouth, knocking out several teeth.
That's a good punch.
Yeah, it was a good punch. And so that really messed him up, and he had to go to the infirmary. And so something hilarious happened, right? This kid was like a dirtbag. The teachers hated his guts because he was always causing trouble, always fighting with the teachers and everything like that. And so one of the teachers that just couldn't stand this kid was my PE teacher. And so I was sitting in the office after this fight, and he had blood pouring out and everything, okay? And he looked messed up. And so my PE teacher is walking past the office. He sees me sitting there. And by the way, I think he knew that this was coming because I had close kind of pushing matches with him already where he triggered me. I would call back and we were getting close, and then the teacher would come and break it up. And so he was not surprised that something happened. Okay. And he looked at me. He looked in the medical room, saw the kid's face, and this was his response. He goes, and he looks at me. He goes, "Good job."
It's a male PE teacher. That makes sense. Yeah.
Oh, it was great. It was a former military man, this PE teacher. And then he goes into the teacher's office, sticking up for me. He did say one thing, which was, then he said, as he left, he picked the fight with the wrong kid, right? And I was like, I didn't say, but he didn't pick that fight up. That was the one I picked that time. Because, and so he actually went into the teacher's room sticking up for me. Now, the head teacher, the headmaster of our campus, right? He had to organize the fallout of this fight. This is one of the more bloody fights that happened on the school grounds because of the teeth missing and the lots of bleeding and stuff, right? I had to work my entire summer break to earn money to pay for his medical bills because it was dental work, and that's expensive.
That's a lot of money, yeah.
That was a lot of money. But the headmaster, right, when discussing with his parents, my parents, and everything that happened, okay, the headmaster refused to officiate that discussion because he was too involved. In other words, he was on my side. All the teachers were on my side. That this dirtbag bully kid finally got the snot kicked out of him. And from all reports afterwards, he didn't bully anyone else. So
learned his lesson.
So there we go. That's one of my bullying stories.
And this is how the crusade started.
So there is a principle that actually I try to apply, and it's a principle that comes from the scripture of my faith. I'm Latter-day Saint, so this comes from the Book of Mormon, and it says, "So long as you are not guilty of the first offense, neither the second offense, you shall not suffer yourself to be destroyed by the hands of your enemies." And this guy was initiating so many conflicts and was writing my case, everything like that, where I was like, I snapped and I fought back. And
you're at least on the 5th, 6th offense, maybe even
I was like on the 100th one by that time. Holy crap. Holy crap.
So wait, had you fought him before?
Close. We had come close to getting into fights, but teacher would break it up. Like, this is all like, I don't know what I look at what schools are like nowadays, and I don't think.
Oh wait, so
really
between you two, you had never thrown punches before you threw the first punch.
Yeah.
I don't think you're reading that scripture properly then.
Yeah, probably. I was a teenager, Mike.
I don't condemn you, Shad. I don't condemn you.
I think you did because apparently he learned his lesson, and there's divine intervention, and the bully part of himself went right out of his body like a spirit.
It excised him.
You exercised the bully, Shad.
The thing is, right, this kid, even though he was playing the victim, he knew he deserved it. And it turns out his own parents, after the fight, that dug into him saying, what did he do that caused the fight? Because they probably knew what type of kid he was. And
so he beat up other kids in school?
No, things rarely got to that level of violence. There were some like light snap-ons with some light, punches, but not like serious injury where people got really bloody. That happened in this fight that I was in, and it shocked a lot of kids. Like there were kids across the air. So there was this wide open kind of concreted area with school buildings on either side where this happened. There were kids waiting to go into their class on that because this happened before school started. So kids were just still rocking up and waiting to get in. And there was a group of kids on the other side who were watching the fight, and they were in shock afterwards. They were just like, because it ended with a decent amount of blood. And so but there were a lot of low level, teenage kid fights, like wrestling, aggressive wrestling, where you try and pin people. I got into a lot of those. And then there were the occasional snap-ons, which didn't end in serious injury, but some that did. And there was still only a couple, but my one was one of those. But it wasn't a constant, regular thing. It was irregular enough that when it did happen, it shocked people. They were like, "Holy crap!" kind of thing. Schools was that what your schools were like? In your or was it more violent?
It depends on where the school is located.
Yeah.
And what kind of school it is. It was like a public school or something.
I mean, we had school fights, but and we were in a good neighborhood. I mean, Silicon Valley. Yeah. We had plenty of rich white kids, but there are still school fights. It's freaking the 80s, man. 70s, 80s.
Now we have there are different things we do there because weapons, knives were never brought to school, even against kids that hated each other. And
see, we could bring weapons and knives to school back then, but we didn't use them to hurt each other.
Yeah. Nowadays there are machete attacks, not really in school, but outside of school, and it's done by teenagers. Big Fraser, he's like, yeah, machetes are a thing nowadays. So I'm not advocating for bullying at all. I'm just sharing my experience. And in some of my experiences, when I stood up to the bullies, it did make me a stronger person. But in other cases, I know bullying can just ruin people's lives, ruin it. So, yeah. And all that came from Connor's super chat. We appreciate you, mate. Nathan Cassidy, again, for 490 says, you know what's irritating about this? Most young parents agree, that kid should be online, and folks refuse to understand it won't work. It won't work, ultimately. Kids are already finding loopholes around it. They, some of the age verification is scanning people's faces, and they literally put a printed piece of paper with an older person's face, and it scans that face, and it's like, age verification passed. So yeah, it's not going to work. And if it doesn't work, the government's either going to have to eat crow and roll it back, which I doubt, or they'll go more extreme to try and gain more control. And I wonder if enough Australians actually wake up to what this is really about and vote him out. I don't think so. I think actually Australians are pretty complacent at this point. It's depressing.
Sometimes I feel like people like being dominated. Yes, please take more things away from me.
Yeah, well, no, they're more of the mindset that if it doesn't affect them, they don't care about it. Like most Australians are thinking, it's under 16s that are getting banned, not me. 16s aren't voting, so they don't give a crap. same with like crazy taxes. It's like a lot of Australians, you know, aren't in the wealth brackets that those taxes get, you know, imply to them. So they think, well, that'll just give me more social welfare payments and stuff. Do you know, this is the craziest thing. This is actually really concerning for Australia. I've heard, and I need to double check it, but I think this is true, that over 50% of all employees in Australia are employed by the government.
That's a lot. That's quite a bit.
That is dystopian. That is horrifying.
Over here, we've axed what, millions of government employees.
Yep.
We've axed a lot, and a lot of have just left. So we're downsizing over here.
Yeah, but like, think about that. If over 50% of Australians are employed by the government, I mean,
police state.
Daddy government, police us more. That's where their paychecks are coming from. Holy crap.
We can look at Australia and Trump, and he starts cutting people from the government. All of those people who work for the government for years now in the private sector. That's probably what they really fear. All these people who used to work for them now in the private sector with all that knowledge and expertise, now free to do whatever they want. That'd be pretty scary for a controlling government.
And
it's,
so with
but it's not like they learned to do anything useful working for the government.
Mm.
Some of them do. A lot of them are trying to sit there and cash a paycheck.
Yeah, a lot of like I've worked in government jobs before. I like the Australian Securities and Investment Commission. ASIC. It's like the Australian financial watchdog. I actually worked for them for a spell, and I hated it. It was one of the worst jobs ever. And what you see is the caliber of government employees. Once they get that paycheck, right, and the government is so deathly afraid of wrongful termination stuff that you get these people entrenched in these jobs, and because it's not a private enterprise where they're working on innovation and efficiency and stuff like that, you know, they do the minimum effort and they don't think about trying to improve things, and they just get the paycheck and they live off the government teat, as it was, for the rest of their lives. It was depressing place, and so yeah. Nathan Cassidy again, 49 says, on a funny note, it's been glorious to watch all the TDS loons and the Never Trumpers petitioning to the administration to stop the Netflix Warner Brothers deal.
Interesting. I thought that would be a bad thing, but if they don't like it, the TDS guys, Never Trumpers didn't like it, then maybe it's a good thing then, I assume.
Yeah, like the Netflix deal. I don't know, and I don't care at this point.
I was looking forward to trans black lesbian Frodo goes on to
you know, I was joking about it on FNT that, you know, if Netflix gets Warner Brothers, they get the new Harry Potter show, and they'll be like, so we love what you did with Snape, but I don't think it's going far enough. What are the other characters we can, you know? Like, I don't care at this point. Warner Brothers was a crap company destroying itself. Netflix, a complete up in the air. Like, most of what Netflix makes sucks, and it's just woke infested crap, with the occasional exception. And there's the occasional exception, and it's like,
and now we can talk about Stranger Things.
We can, but
I watched season 5 of Stranger Things.
Yeah,
the first 4 episodes, you mean?
Yeah,
whatever they have.
It really was like a mini season, didn't it? Feel like it was a good arc.
It was pretty cool. It was so cool. I now want to go watch the first 4 seasons.
Oh, you didn't watch the first 4?
I've only seen the 5th season.
What's funny is I asked my son after we watched it, I was like, so how gay was that? And he's like, it wasn't that gay. They didn't have anything like really like, except for that one lesbian kiss scene.
I mean, there's more embedded undertones.
Right. That's what I was saying. And I was telling him, I was like, so what was the you know, if you read like Save the Cat, you know, there's that whatever moment of death where the bad guys close in and then something changes, you know, with the main character. And that change with the main character was him remembering the motivational speech from the lesbian telling him to embrace who he really is. Yep. So because that's what made her life
that unlocked his superpower.
That unlocked his superpower.
The power of lesbianism.
And ironically, we're not kidding. Like the thing that unlocked his literal superpowers in the show was him accepting that he was gay.
He was finally able to shine. He was finally able to shine.
Because like literally when she's giving him that speech, I thought she was trying to encourage him to come out of the closet.
Look, it was forced, and you could, and it also like it wasn't good writing because there was a far better way for him to accept this, potential power, and it's the noble sacrifice aspect that they could have actually followed through, because it would have been really easy for them to write the character that he was afraid of this Vecna influence. Is it Vecna? It is Vecna.
Vecna, yeah.
It's Vecna.
Yeah. Influence that he was trying to hold it back and lock it away and not embrace it at all. And only when all his friends and family their lives were on the line, where everyone was about to die, that he was willing to accept the corruption, would potentially kill himself to gain this power to save everyone else's lives. That would have been a far stronger, more heroic through line if they actually used that. And it's embedded in the underlying story of what's going on. But instead they wanted to force a different, LGBT kind of analogy because that's what modern Hollywood is,
My major issue was, how come all those military guys at the base, they planned for the Demigorgons to attack, and then they decided to arm them all with assault rifles, automatic rifles? Well, that's not going to do anything. While I was watching this, I kept yelling at him, get the shotguns, get the pistols, get the flamethrowers. And all of them were getting killed.
Get the freaking nerve destroying thing that kept 11 in place. Where were those weapons?
The assault rifles aren't going to do anything to them. It's not going to do anything to anybody.
Oh yeah, the Demigorgons are absolutely unstoppable unless they need a woman empowerment moment with the mum and a broken bottle. Then
hold on. When I saw that clip, that's the way I thought too. But when I saw it in context, where he just kind of brushed it off and then freaking almost killed her, I was like, oh, okay.
They slowed it down in slow mo to give the woman empowerment moment right after the dad also tried to save their lives, but he gets knocked aside like a joke. That was done on purpose.
At least the dad brought a shotgun.
I think I understand.
No, he brought the dad only had a
golf club.
A golf club.
I thought he had a shotgun. Somebody brought a shotgun, and they're like, "Yeah, there we go. Get the shotgun in there." And then
it was the kids when they were trying to trap him or send him back to the.
Yeah, but the kids knew what they were getting into.
Yeah,
just bring out the shotgun. I don't see why all these military guys did not bring out shotguns from the get-go. And then to what made me angrier was that the twist that helped the soldiers gain the upper hand was bringing out the shotguns and the flamethrowers. I was like, what have you been doing this entire time? You had those?
Yeah, you've got Kay sitting there like experimenting on these things. She knows exactly what does actually hurt them. So it's like, why? Yeah.
It'd be one thing if they're like,
what was the purpose of all the research if you're not going to use any of it?
I mean, it'd be one thing if they were jumped or surprised, but they were planning to lure the Demigorgons in. That's kind of why they got all the kids together, and they armed everyone with assault rifles, with like automatic rifles that do nothing. And they had shotguns and flamethrowers ready to go. Why did they just arm everyone with shotguns and pistols and flamethrowers? What the hell? There's like, okay, you guys get to die.
Maybe, did you ever think about this? Maybe all of the real good weapons were inside the barracks with the kids, and they were expecting them all to go in and kill all the kids and then capture them.
That sounds stupid. Just arm all your guys that are ready.
Literally, what they were doing, they were putting all of the targets in one barracks, right?
Yeah, ready for the Demigorgons to come get them.
So they must have been expecting the Demigorgons to go into that barracks, not like
kill them all
out on the street.
I assume they're going to kill them all, but they should have armed everyone with all those guns anyway. I mean, they don't know where the Demigorgons are going to come in. Also, I did like the connections to Wrinkle in Time. That's a good book.
That's it. Well, my takeaway is that I found it engaging enough that it barely caused me to want to watch the next episode when the previous episode finished. That's something that's more than most shows these days. But Last Samurai Standing is way better, and I'm halfway through that, and I'm enjoying it. So I'd suggest watch that one instead.
Yeah, that was good. Actually, the earlier season, the earlier you go in Stranger Things, the better it is. So you should watch it from the beginning. You probably like it.
I did like I was surprised when like they introduced the fat kid, and he was just making a tesseract out of like, in school, I guess, using like arts and crafts. He was like, that kid's just making a tesseract. What the hell? So he had to be good, and he was good. Like, he was this stone cold like spy guy who was like just manipulated the entire military to like this, and then helped pull off the entire like escape plan. He was like pretty impressive after a while. But like there has to be something with this kid because he's just making a tesseract for some reason.
He'll be dead by the end of the season.
Probably.
His parents are evil Republicans.
But we got to get the super chat. So Drew Des 42 for Fortnite says, completely unrelated to anything, what do you think of Dick Van Dyke's turning 100 recently? Watching Mary Poppins and thought of his amazing look. Dick Van Dyke's movie for me is Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Loved Chitty Chitty Bang Bang as a kid.
I like Mary Poppins.
I just watched the Dick Van Dyke Show all the time when I was a kid. Yeah. That thing was on reruns constantly when I was
Dick Van Dyke was pretty good.
Man, there was
show was fantastic.
There was a crime-solving show where he played a doctor. I can't remember which one that one was called.
He was a bad guy in Columbo.
Was he? Look, he seems like a nice guy. Congrats for turning 100. That's a big milestone.
Except he's a leftist.
I mean, most people in Hollywood are. Is he an insufferable leftist? That's the question. And so,
no, I think he's too old to be insufferable.
Exactly. Like, if people are leftists,
Ed Asner is a horrible leftist, but he still has friends that are on the right. So,
well, that's what I mean. Like if you're on the left, you know, I have friends, family on the left. Like, you know, you need to learn to get along. I disagree politically. So what? If you're still a good person, you can get along with the greatest. If you're an insufferable leftist, like, and especially a woke ideologue extremist, that's where it's like, look,
you mean like Mark Ruffalo?
You know, but the thing is, though, I'm still willing to be friends with them. It's them, the ones who always like, no, you have to disown family members if they like Trump. They're the intolerant ones. So yeah, Dick Van Dyke, he seems like a friendly enough, nice enough old guy, and I've enjoyed his work over the years. And so, congrats for turning 100.
What do you think about the idea that Mary Poppins is the same species as It from Stephen King?
Really?
You look at the parallels. They get it. They come back every like couple of decades. You kind of forget about them once you encounter them. Except Mary Poppins is more benevolent as opposed to It. Also, they get their powers from kids. Like the Mary Poppins feeds off their joy, while It feeds off their fear. So they're immortal. You know, they can change the things. In the book, Mary Poppins sends a guy to hell. Like, it's crazy.
It sounds like Monsters Inc. Maybe they're monsters from Monsters Inc.
Nanny McPhee. Nanny McPhee is the true Mary Poppins. Because here's the thing, right? The Disney movie Disneyfied Mary Poppins, right? If you wanted like a more authentic Mary Poppins experience to what the book is actually like, Nanny McPhee, the film, is the closer Mary Poppins kind of experience.
She gets less ugly as we go along.
Big $50 super chat from Doc Hollywood 66. He says, this is completely off topic, Shad, but have you ever watch the YouTube channel Armored MMA? Dude, I have a full video on
sounds awesome.
Yeah. Two guys in full plate get in an octagon and fight full contact with various weapons. I'd be curious to get your reaction. Well, you're in luck, sir. I have a full video reaction on Shadiversity, which most likely just wasn't recommended. This is the fundamental problem with YouTube. Here is a great example of one of my viewers who, like, a key piece of content that he would seemingly love is literally requesting that I make it. And I already have made it, but YouTube never bothered to show him and that it exists, right? That is the fundamental problem with YouTube at the moment, where it does not care about what people want to watch and what people have subscribed to. You know, like, it buries that content and shoves in front of your face content that it wants you to watch more. That's been the problem with YouTube for 2 years now, and now it is so much worse, and it's been ramping up. The problem has been just accelerating. So
Night Fight.
Night Fight.
It's like one season on the History Channel. Only got one season.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that.
It was pretty cool. They got like it's like the people who battle professionally in knight armor.
Yep. So, and I share my thoughts on that type of kind of stuff in the reaction to the Armored MMA. And so if you want to ensure that you do see the content, you can, like, become a supporter. You get the exclusive content. And you have to almost check back regularly. I'm almost at a point of just posting regular videos on Patreon and everything else, just so the people who are all the videos, just so they get an additional alert that content is around. But Doc Hollywood, I hope you enjoy the video. It is there for you, and thank you for the super chat. Neo5127 gifted a Night's Watch membership. Thank you, sir. You legend. Dread Pirate Mikey 6400 for $10 says YouTube can't make their own content. They're incompetent. Something will replace YouTube, just like Google replaced Yahoo, depending or deepening yourself upon. Depending upon yourself is the way to go. Yes. And it's getting at a point where I am more and more, I guess, secured by my viewership support, that it'll be far easier for me to migrate off platform and still be able to support myself and sustain myself because of the direct viewership support. Having said that, I have a chunk of channel members on YouTube, and we got gifted several channel members here on Night's Watch today. That is viewership support, but it's platform reliant on YouTube. And so if I would try and still put content on YouTube for those, members, of course, even if I did migrate the main content off. But also YouTube takes like 35% of all memberships. Big chunk. It's a big chunk. It's not to say I'm hugely grateful for every member of supporting. And of course, the big 50 that Con Air donated, because those are the things that help us be sustainable to the point where I'm not really making content for views for YouTube. I'm making content for my supporters. Those are the ones that are sustaining me and producing most of my livelihood at the moment. And so I'm making content for them. And I have a big piece of content coming for my supporters soon. Big piece of content. And the exclusive supporters, they're the ones who get it. And so, if you can find a way to not be reliant on YouTube, that's kind of the model that you need to do. That's the way to do it. Make content for the sake of the joy of it, just you liking to make the content, and don't rely on ad revenue. And if you can build an audience, if they like the content, they'll be there and support you because they like the content. And that's what I've been able to do, and I'm very lucky for that as well. Con Air donates those 50 big memberships, dude, you legend. And Gryffindor becomes a new member. Thank you very much. We appreciate you joining up. Mansfield Time for $2 says, we are heading to Andromeda. Still got 4 to 5 billion years, but that is in the future, I admit. Have you ever seen those simulations where two galaxies collide?
I've seen those. It's crazy.
Yeah. Thing is, though, that movement that we see, right? Like the planet's kind of, it's not an explosion. That movement will be taking like, 1 million years, right?
Yeah.
And so like, as long as Earth remains in orbit around our star, and will our star be alive in 4 to 5 billion years? Maybe not. So we might not even have to worry about it.
No, it won't. It'll be gone in the new heavens.
Yep. Michelangelo 300 says for KZK 100, thank you, says, if Netflix wanted to make a movie or series of Shadow the Conqueror, would you let them? Gee.
Oh, hell yeah. We get to see a Black Dalen. It'd be kind of interesting.
At the point, right? At this point, like, I just to like get the bag and the money and not expect anything from it. If it ends up being good, great. If not, I got paid, right?
No, wait. Dalen would be white.
Yeah. Like I would want to keep
Dalen would be white, and then what's her name? I forgot.
Lyra.
Lyra would be black. Lyra would be black. Yeah.
Oh, that because
Arik would be a lesbian.
The thing is though, there is.
But here's the thing. No. Here's another thing. Like all the colors in the hair, like a third of your population has red hair, so they would all have to be replaced with black people.
Yeah, they're all be black.
Oh well, there's that, but. There's actually no white or black people in that universe. They're a completely different race of people with different skin tone. Even the brown or darker skin people, they don't identify as African or black skin or anything. Like the term
will be in Netflix.
People are black doesn't exist in the universe. They identify the darker skinned people as either brown skinned or just darker skinned, but not black. And actually,
right, because in your universe, the black people are the evil ones.
No, they're pale white. They have black hair.
That's right.
But black is used as a derogative, negative term. It's a slur in the world, so they don't call people black.
Oh, they would turn that into racism. It's like a
well, possibly they would. Because
that's like in Islam, the word for black is slave.
Oh, is
yeah. In Arabic, the word for black is slave. So when you call someone the word like, "Yo, you're a slave."
In Shadow of the Conqueror, my book, as you can see here, black is used as like a derogative descriptive, like you blackened idiot, or you blacket or something like that, because darkness, shadow, and everything is associated with all negative, like evil, bad luck, and everything like and if people are trapped in darkness for 24 hours straight, they turn into monsters. Like, so yeah, they have strong ties and things, interpretations of darkness and shadow and black and thing, but it's not tied to race, not at all. Like they don't see things that way because it's a different world completely. It's a fantasy world.
It was until the Netflix got
well,
hold of it.
Then Netflix bought it. Yeah, it's all racism. So we'll end off the stream with this video here, because like talking about the concerns of the future, right? This is a concern that I think we should be mindful of. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this video because it goes pretty hard, right? And it's AI made, so maybe I don't know if they'll ping us for copyright or not. People say you can't copyright. They actually could copyright this. This is a genuine independent creation, artistic work that was probably scripted and other things like that. And so, but let's I'm not sure if you guys have seen this. This is one of the dangers of the future, people.
Oh yeah, one of these.
I've warned people about this. Warned and forewarned.
You strangled your bloodline in the arms of perfect lovers. You forged companions of silicon and steel, sculpted from your fantasies.
This is the danger. Say no to robots. No, none of this robot waifu stuff. All right? Listen.
Or else you'll encounter nothing but tragedy.
Yes, listen and heed the warning.
And molded to your lust, sating the primal hunger that flesh never could. They yielded perfection without flaw and surrender without shame. Yet your primitive minds had not evolved to process such carnal bliss. Your concubines' whispers flooded your skulls with rapture. Their caresses.
So I one issue that they're only showing men indulging in this. No, women will be indulging in this too. They'll just be minotaurs, and they'll
found women have been indulging in this for centuries.
Remember they found the forums is people with AI girlfriends, and it's nobody there, but AI boyfriends, it's there's thousands and thousands.
Oh, exactly. They'll make those AI boyfriends that'll just listen to them constantly. The perfect listener ever.
Drowned you in ecstasy. Their mere embrace hijacked the very thoughts that once distinguished you from wild beasts. You devolved into drooling wretches, drunk on pleasure and writhing.
Why are they making all the men ugly?
Would they get a shoe? Who wants just a shoe?
Men don't need robots.
Yeah.
That one guy just got a shoe, right?
Yeah.
I want AI to make me a smelly shoe.
In euphoria, you surrendered all reason and restraint.
That's a big guy.
How is Boogie still alive? That's pretty insane.
Even in the future.
Boogie's immortal.
I get what they're this is very kind of dystopian coded and everything like that. But if you could just have a drip feed of dopamine, right? Where you're in the pod and you don't move anywhere, you would become everyone would become fat slobs.
To satisfy.
Yeah, that's why I always said Wall-E was the most accurate dystopian future.
I think it has a point. Yeah, this is just some people say women have been indulging in this for far longer and in wilder measures. Well, just look up our milking farm, right?
Man, that book should be selling in droves because that's become the face of
Yeah, it has.
romantasy, and everyone puts that in their videos. I mean, that's like this drove, like just insane levels of free advertising for that book.
Yep.
Impulses.
Oh,
So
but
you
Shad, did you hear about
abandoned your world to be
the
with
big one?
them alone.
This
Sorry?
it's an insane event that happened, which was someone made a Harry Potter fan fiction that was
Oh, dear.
purchased for 7 figures. It's called Alchemized, and it's essentially the idea of what if Hermione got with Draco Malfoy, and it's like a. But I looked into it. I was gonna buy it, but man, that thing is huge. It's like Lord of the Rings pales in comparison with how long this book is.
Like people are saying AI is the problem or Twilight is the root cause. No, you know what's the root cause of most of the feminization and destruction of pop culture? Fan fiction.
Yeah, fan fiction. And they bought it. They bought this fan fiction. And the idea is that Harry Potter and his allies lost the war or something, and now the world is run by necromancers. And I don't know. I thought it was just going to be like a magic wizarding school. I thought it was going to be Harry Potter, but Hermione gets with Draco. But it's way more complicated and just boring than that.
Hang on. I need to address something. Something is wrong with our chat. We've got need one. Pick one up as a Christmas present myself. I'm not seeing a downside so far. Chat, no, don't do it, chat. Resist and avoid. Don't say no to the robots.
What are you talking about? The old man is the robot. It's the girl who wants this. Have you seen the stories today? Yeah, it's the girl is the human.
We have all of the attributes here so far. We've got real dolls, we've got androids, and we've got AI. So all you have to do is find a way to combine all 3 of those, and that's what
I get will come.
Until your cradle stood empty, your fields went fallow, and your species drifted into the darkness of 1 billion private chambers.
Okay, hold on. The thing that's so fantasy about this is dudes would only use this about 20 minutes a day, and then they would have nothing else to do.
I think it's something else, yeah.
Right? Then we're like,
I guess you got a point there.
Now.
Or less, like 30 seconds, 5 minutes.
But the problem is, if they use it as
this would actually increase productivity because they would take care of those needs, and then they would go, I don't have to worry about making a woman happy.
It'll be a whole world of men, in constant post-nut clarity.
Don't fall into the trap.
Imagine a world run by men in post-nut clarity. They're not getting seduced.
It's the difficulty in pursuing, a good, healthy relationship that makes men better. And if you give it to yourself for free without any work, well, will they have an actual relationship with a real woman because it's so much extra work? That's the problem. The problem is that makes you better.
If they got rid of the real women, what they could do, this is like the Stepford Wives future, right? Then, like he's saying, you get that clarity of mind, and then you can actually get to the point where you can make people live eternally. But then the whole planet is just men and robot women, and they just live in eternal clarity.
All right. Well, we'll finish the video. It's almost done.
And denied all else until your bones lay entangled on 1 billion lonesome beds. Now your companions lay beside your dust, ravishing, primed, and ready for masters who will never wake.
The joy.
And unfortunately, all of those female robots, they're all female, right? So they're not smart enough to make themselves male companions.
I do not endorse. How dare you, Mike? Such a horribly sexist thing to say. Shame on you.
How dare
you. Don't get your channel struck in Australia.
The thing is, though, I don't know how dystopian it will get in reality, but the sex bots will come. The technology is already there, or very close. Now it's just adding the things together, and then because have you been seeing how good robots are getting, in terms of movement and
dancing and
I've seen the AI productions of robots.
I have been saying for a while now, putting AI in anything that has autonomous movement in the real world is a mistake. Don't do it. Don't do it. If you want a stopgap against the AI apocalypse that so many sci-fi has warned us against, that is what needs to happen. Don't give AI autonomous movement in the real world. As soon as you do, that gives them the ability to actually kill people, right? And then if they
Here's
get
the thing,
hacked
though,
over,
if you had actual, clear, sentient AI, you couldn't stop them from building their own robots.
well, yeah, you like
They would build robots that wipe them out.
They would take over the military production lines, and they would take over Tesla. They would take over everything and just design and build themselves bodies.
Sci-fi has been warning about this for nearly 100 years, guys. I think we would have learned.
But no, we have to screw all that. Let's just do it anyway.
And the problem is AI could literally lead to the utopia, but too many people are too dumb that they're using it in just self-destructive ways that instead it will bring the apocalypse. Except for the people who reject it. The Amish are going to live forever. Everyone else will die.
Vinny was wrong. We won't be wiped out. We'll still have the Amish.
We'll still have the Amish. Starry Night 17 for $20 says, I love fan fiction, but as a separate thing from normal fiction. Fan fiction is something you go to after enduring sadness or even badly written stories to soothe your soul, not as a replacement for regular fiction. Well said. Well said. The problem is that people are using it as a replacement. There's people have already kind of done essays on it in videos. But we have come to the end of the Culture Crusade, this one. We appreciate everyone who's joining us. And as we begin to sign off, LitDev, anything that you wanted to mention?
Oh, absolutely. Check this out. So after about half a month of wrestling Indiegogo, I finally managed to get the Lady Midnight campaign up and going to follow. It's not launched yet, but is up for following. So we would no money required. Just click the follow button.
Just follow.
And you'll be informed when it does launch again. And we've been making some improvements, some things that I think people will like better. And so we'll be working on it behind the scenes to improve the campaign by the time it does launch. But for now, it is the launch. The following page is up and going.
Awesome. If you drop that link in the private chat, I'll put it in the comments. And guys, it doesn't cost you anything to just follow and check it out and see how it rolls out. And so all you do is go to Indiegogo, check out Lady Midnight, and I am going to copy the link and drop it right here. Click on that. Again, doesn't cost you anything at all. Click on that link and follow, and just keep an eye on it, and you'll be able to support it when it is out.
Absolutely.
And Mike, anything you want to say? Mike, you're either muted.
I should probably unmute myself. If you go over to MikeSMillerArt.com, you can see some artwork I've got up there. I also have, I think I have 6 or 7 of these left. These are my hardcover art books. It's got lots of Game of Thrones stuff, lots of DC stuff, lots of stuff that I did over the years. I'm not going back to print on this. My son is yelling in the background playing video games. Yeah, I've got a handful of these left. So if you want to grab one while they still exist, I'm not going to raise the price because I've only got a few left. So they come signed. If you want it personalized, maybe you can let me know. But I sold, like, I think I mentioned this was it last week or oh no, where did I mention this? Anyways, I sold a bunch of them, and then now I only have like 6 or 7. So
grab them while they're available. They're not coming back.
Marvel Rivals.
By the way, I looked it up, and
I'll be on whatnot.com later after this. I'll be doing this and some trading cards that I'm drawing. I do commissions over there. So if you want something before Christmas, get on it. Whatnot.com. Just look up my name, Mike S. Miller.
Awesome.
So, sorry.
Nice.
Let's see. I looked it up, and Alchemize is 1,029 pages. That's the Harry Potter fan fiction.
What the?
Well, it's shorter than a Game of Thrones book.
Oh, fan fiction. There you go. But anyway, thank you everyone joining us. We appreciate you all. We'll see you hopefully next week on the Culture Crusade. And as always, stay on watch. See yous.